I'm back again. Um, Only because I just finished practicing and something finally happened that I've been working on um, getting back since I was sick. Um, and that's, I guess, essentially what it is just a full connection of my physical being to every single instrument. Um, and I mean, not that I completely lost that, but it always took me a little time. Hi, Bronwyn. Uh, yeah, it always took me a minute to like. First, I had to warm up, and then I'd basically be able to play everything, but I didn't have that like. I didn't feel like me, myself, and the instrument were like one person. It was always like, okay, I am doing the things I need to do to make the instrument sound good. Not I can physically feel the instrument within myself. Um, and I, I, I started noticing that more when I was in college. Um, Mainly like freshman sophomore year, I started noticing that kind of tendency with specific instruments. Like I loved snare drum, that's why I always played it all the time, and I felt that super deep connection with snare drum. um, every once in a while I'd feel it with mallets, more so when I would practice than I'd play like actual music. I always felt that connection when practicing. Glockenspiel, it took me a long time a long time. But for some reason, I feel like if you can find connection with instruments at the softest dynamic level, like you just feel that comfort, then it like kind of explodes your feel throughout the entire dynamic spectrum. And also some of the different sensations you'd feel, let's say for glockenspiel, if you're playing a soft note, you can use the same type of physical feeling for snare drum saw playing. Granted, it's more bounce and all that good stuff and longer sticks, or different weight distribution and all that good stuff. But the general feel or general sensation is what Evelyn Glennie refers to as creating a resonating chamber in the body. Um, and the way I achieve that is the whole spiel that I always give about relaxation and efficiency and movement. Um, and yeah, she talks about um, having the same. One way to get into that space is to just really pay attention and listen. Um, the more you let yourself listen to how far or how deep or how long or how high or how dark or low the sound is, and how much you can still hear it after you've struck the instrument. Even listening past it, like what is the silence like afterwards? Like having those types of listening experiences or experiments helps you determine, you know, what you need to do in order to recreate that sound, or what that sound is made out of, or what its characteristics are, things like that. Um, and if you're relaxed when you actually strike the instrument, then you know, like, okay, if I'm doing nothing, then this is what it does to the instrument. If I do nothing with the weight and I slow down my motion, that does something. If I keep the motion the same but diminish the weight, that does something. Like a lot of variables. Um, and my teacher, Mark Demolakis, always taught in a way where you would look for the sound first, and that would determine what technique you used. So the sound dictated the technique. I was the reverse. I was trying to figure out this plus this plus this plus this equals that. Okay, this plus this plus this plus this equals that. You know, I was the exact opposite. Now it's like, oh, I want this sound. I know exactly what blah 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 blah, blah equals that. Okay. Um, because I'm pretty OCD with that kind of stuff. So yeah, efficiency of movement, relaxation, combine those two with actually paying attention to what you hear and what the characteristics of that sound is, or characteristics of that sound are. um, so those three things. Highly recommend you check out Evelyn Glennie's, all of her videos talking about this kind of stuff, because she approaches it in similar ways, again with the relaxation and just moving with the instrument, becoming one with the stick and one with the drum, or one with the handheld thing. And again, the more you're relaxed, the more you can just allow the instrument to be a part of you and not you holding a thing and hitting the thing you're holding. It's just an extension of yourself. Cool? If you want to get super philosophical with it, then like it is an extension of yourself. Cool? That is my short rant because I'm very excited that it happened finally. Yeah, it's always when it only happens when I'm practicing like super intensely and like crazy focus, crazy awareness, crazy listening, really paying attention to every single aspect of what I'm doing, from approaching the drum to setting myself up to how my stance is, to where is my weight, how are my feet, where is my arm weight coming from, what part of the stick am I trying to activate, what part of the stick am I trying to rebound the most or less, how much sound am I producing, each motion to and from notes, and again trying to access that, what I usually tell people to feel like they're fat, because that's where I feel the most like resonance is in my gut, and the more I feel like that, especially when I want to start expanding sound, then I feel bigger. If I want to diminish sound, then I just feel like it just kind of like lightens up. It never feels like it's going like that, though. It never feels like I'm like trying to constrain it. It's just like there's always air in there. There's never like a lack of air. Or if you want to think of it like you just feel a little lighter for soft playing, but it still has that, you still have the body weight. And then if you want it to be heavier, you just feel like that air expands. You still have the same amount of weight, you're just accessing it more. There's a lot of metaphors you can think about. But yeah, think about exhaling to continue to relax, feeling like you're just like an accordion or something, your gut, or wherever you would feel sound. Wherever you feel sound, always think about it like expanding and contracting with what you want. So the smaller the sound, you just think about like just light, and then you have to work on what does lightness feel like, because you can't like have lightness constrained. It has to be with the full body weight. What does a light version of full body weight feel like? You have to get used to that. What does a heavy version of full body weight feel like? And that's just my shoulders. If I'm sitting down, so I'm going to slide off if I use my entire body. Cool. And like I always say, all that stuff is in the first book. I don't go into too much detail because specifically about the resonating chamber or things like that, because it's hard to explain. It's easier to explain after you've gone through all of those processes, because all of those help you develop a relaxed structure, so that way you can start manipulating it later. And then you start learning, how to hear, and then your body just reacts to what you hear, as long as you stay relaxed. If you want something bigger, then don't work. You just have a bigger motion. Boom, done. You want something smaller, smaller motion. You don't have to do all this extra stuff. Cool? That is what my fiance would say, welcome, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Does anybody have any quick questions about that? I got 3 minutes before I have to go eat and then iron. That's a very weird and short little ditty. But yeah, I'm very happy that it finally happened. Feel very, you just feel like you're just sitting and like I mean, it basically kind of feels like you're sleepwalking, or you're about to go to sleep. That's how relaxed, like, you can be. And the more relaxed you are, the more stuff you can do. There's some excerpts where, like, Midsummer Night's Dream, if you've seen that one, it's pianissimo, and the first two notes are eighth note and then a triple stroke rough quarter. And when I'm firing on all cylinders, I can play like right, left, left, right for the triple stroke rough. But I have to be firing. I have to be like in a specific zone, and I can finally do that. So I don't know if that makes sense. We got and it's double P, and I'm playing like I'm playing like triple P basically, because I can play really soft and pretty clean. So I like explaining that whenever I take auditions. But yeah, not that you have to do that. You have to think about the hall too. But I always practice like way too soft, and then nice, like a big, solid, loud. That way I could just like, okay, let me just play what's normal. But yeah, all that to say, resonating chamber is a thing. I highly encourage that you watch Evelyn Glennie's stuff about it. I mean, you can probably watch a lot of different things. Evelyn Glennie talks about it. Bruce Lee basically talks about the same thing. If you watch, was it Jump Street? I forget what the show was, where he talks about his famous "Be formless, shapeless, like water." The TV show where he stated that. I forget what show it was. It's on my website for sure. I posted the video on my website. But yeah, Bruce Lee talks about it. Anything about Wing Chun talks about that, and just being soft. Softness is another way of thinking about it. It also depends on your personality. You might feel that relaxed when you're in a state of stability, like you feel stable. Because I feel the most stable when I feel like I'm doing nothing. Like that's where I feel like I have the most control. So if you want to think about it as relaxed stability or no effort stability, something like that. I used to think about monolithic, because if you think about a statue, it's in place, but it's not tight. It's just sitting in place. It's been formed in place. It doesn't have to like tense up to get into a position. It's just in a position, you know? Cool. I feel like I talked about that in an audition blog. Yeah, so that is my chat. I don't know, it's probably 15, 20 minutes, if that. Probably 10. I don't know. I can never keep track of time. Okay. If anybody has any questions about this, just comment, and I will answer as soon as I see them. Sometimes I don't get notifications on Facebook, which is odd. But I'll post this on Facebook, YouTube. Dope. Thanks for watching. This is like the third. I don't know why I've been doing so many lives, but it was, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.